Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Monday call. I hope everybody is very excited to be on, as I am. Over the next hour, we're going to be talking about this company called Timol, and they literally brought a product to the market that's really made a massive difference to my health and so many other people that we're going to hear about on this hour or so as we talk. Now, it's a Monday, so we're going to be talking about the money aspect of the business as well, but the primary business we're going to be talking about is your health, and nothing more important than that. So we are really going to do a deep dive into why I'm so excited about this and why it's really made a massive difference to so many people that I personally know, and all sorts of ailments, because you're going to learn how it's the product that's giving your body something that your body might be lacking, as to why we're getting so many amazing results. So take away any distractions. Hopefully you've got a time to make any notes. If you've got any questions, we'll have a time where we can field those questions as we go through the meeting. Now, we're talking about our modern day lifestyle, my friends, and I'm no stranger to the image on the left. I like this, what you call this, junk food, fast food, and predominantly this food, this is acidic in nature. And we're going to be talking about the problem with this acidic food and this acidic diet and what it does to us over time. And even on the right hand side, you've got if you're somebody who goes to the supermarket and gets your greens, kudos to you. And you go get your kale, you get your barley, your wheatgrass and stuff like that. Fantastic. But the problem also on that aspect is that our food is sprayed to death. The pesticides, all sorts of things. The foods, the soil itself is depleted of any minerals, and so we've got really a big assault on our product, on our food, as we're talking about health and our wealth. Okay, and health is primary factor numero one. We are talking about the foods that we come across, whether it's this fast food diet in the 21st century with carbonated drinks, soda drinks, and there's a score of different health challenges that weren't around a good while ago. The ideal scenario is to have all the fruits of the different colors on your plate, right? Having a balanced diet, having fruit, your veg, and a wide variety of that as well. Okay, this also has the things that your body craves for, your body needs, and the biggest challenge I've seen, especially in the Western world diet and my diet, was the fact that we're not getting enough of the nutrients that our body needs to operate on full capacity. And so this gentleman here, he wrote this, and he actually got a Nobel Prize in 1931. I don't think any of you guys were around over 100 years ago, but he had a thesis on the primary cause and prevention of cancer. And his main thing was about acidity. Okay, now do you think back in 1931, I mean, you can Google it and do whatever research you want to check out. There was no French fries, hamburgers, all of these acidic drinks, Pepsi Cola, and all that kind of stuff in 1931. And so we are now dealing with stuff that wasn't a normal staple diet. And back in 1931, this gentleman here, he said the metabolism of tumors, this is Otto Heinrich Warburg, demonstrated that all forms of cancer develop due to two basic conditions. One of them being acidosis, which is acidity of the blood. Secondly was hypoxia, which is lack of oxygen. Two of those, my friends, are a major problem in our diet and in our lives. And so he says here, cancerous tissues are acidic tissues, healthy ones are alkaline tissues. I'm going to go even further to say that cancer grows in oxygen deprived acidic tissues. So what does that mean? How can we get or rid our bodies of this acidic food? Now, the part of our bodies need to be acidic in nature. Our stomach breaks down food because it's got acid in it. So we're not talking about totally depleting every single part of you of any what's it called, acids, because your body has that yin and yang. It knows what part of your body should have it. But the problem is there's an excess amount of that going on. And it says here, which I thought that blew me away. And you know, I had a cousin who passed away over 30 years ago, which got me really interested in this whole industry of or learning of acidity in the body and alkaline. And I started to learn about green juices and things like that, and things that can help your body heal itself, okay, due to its nature, very nature of what is in it. And that's alkaline as opposed to acidic. And he goes on to say here, deprive a cell of oxygen for 48 hours and it may become cancerous. Okay, again, we're going to be talking about this product that helps with those areas, which is why the product isn't the miracle. Your body is the miracle. And I always will put it back to the body. Give your body what your body needs. And guess what? It will do things miraculously because it needs it. Okay. So if you have too much, and this is another big problem that we're facing, if you've got too much what we call free radicals, and free radicals is an isolated oxygen atom, too much of that and becomes harmful to the body. Again, you're going to see what happens with a healthy cell and what happens when you have an overrun of oxygen, these oxygen atoms, these free radicals. And so perfect oxygenation in the body, you know, your cells are healthy, they're performing what they should do, which is protection, okay, against all these free radicals. The image I showed earlier with all the different colors, it wasn't just there because it looks nice on your plate. No, it's there because antioxidants are a huge benefit to your body. It's going to help eradicate these free radicals that are excessive in your body and our modern day lifestyle. So if you don't have that, if you don't have any protection of your cells, guess what? That now is going to start seeping into your blood system and into your bloodstream, and you're going to start to develop what we call disease, which is basically a whole list of that your body's at is not in a ease state, it's in a disease state. All right. And so again, this research was done back in 1954 on free radicals, all documented for you to do your own due diligence and your own research. So again, everything I'm telling you right now, my friends, this is not something I just came across and found out about. This is, you know, years, decades of information that you can do your own research on and find out what happens when your body has too much of acid and too much of free radicals. I'm going to go on to say an overwhelming study amount of information that's out there that links, if you have too much free radicals running around in your body and you don't know, right, you can't necessarily see them until something unfortunately happens and you go see the doctor and they do a blood test and all this kind of stuff. Cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, age-related macular degeneration. We know so many people who have got Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or cancers, metabolic disorders of the body. Okay, these are all different things that can contribute to, unfortunately, a disease state. Okay, and so this information here is from Dr. Richard Cutler, who is a former director of the NIA. This is the National Institute of Aging, and he goes on to say the amount of antioxidant in your body is directly proportional to how long you will live. I mean, that's a pretty damning statement, right? So if I didn't know this information, I'd be doing everything I could do to try and eradicate the things that I cannot see. Okay, it's just like your car, my friend. Sometimes, you know, you're in your car, you're driving it, and you put your foot down. And it's like, whoa, what's going on here? It's not got any power. You know, you're trying to go uphill, and it's like going the other way. It's not running at its optimal level. We want to give our bodies what it needs to run at optimal level. Okay, we don't want to wait for that orange light to show up, the engine light to show up on your dashboard. And unfortunately, for us, it's what happens on our skin. Okay. You know, anti-aging products are big industry, as we know. So if you're basically older than your time, your body's going to let you know, right? Your skin's going to let you know about it. You look at your skin and it's dry and it's dragging and it's not hydrated. This is unfortunately the effects of what happens when you don't hydrate yourself. Your cells aren't getting hydrated. You've got too much free radicals running around doing damage that, you know, unfortunately, we're seeing the after effect of that. So, question, how can we reduce acidity and free radicals in our body? I'm glad you asked me that, because we're going to look at the whole chemical reaction that takes place with magnetized water. So, my friends, sit back. We're going to play a short video, and I'll be back to bring.
When we are thirsty, we fill a glass with tap water or drink some water from a plastic bottle. After all, water is water, right? Magnetized water is popular in Japan. But before we get to know its properties, it is important to understand how and what happens to magnetized water. If you take some water to analyze, you will notice that its molecules are disordered. This is because of the minerals. When submitted to magnetic fields, the molecules turn back into their normal state, which makes the water more beneficial to our health since it heightens the energetic balance of the body and strengthens the immune system in general. That's why magnetized water helps prevent many diseases of the human body. Did you know that more than 70% of our bodies are formed by water? We need to replenish water to eliminate toxins from the body, hydrate tissues and cells, help the kidneys, facilitate blood flow, to fight bloating and boost immunity. Some of the benefits of magnetized water are: helps in nutrition and hydration of cells, aids in cell cleanse, reduces blood acidity and the excess of free radicals in the body, increases the oxygen in cells and blood, makes the hair softer, moisturizes the skin, leaving it soft and healthy, aids in the prevention of many diseases, lowers blood sugar levels, preventing diabetes, helps prevent many types of cancer, reduces the risk of osteoporosis and fractures by increasing the bone density and bone resistance, avoids premature aging, increases energy levels. According to studies published by the National Institutes of Health, USA, drinking magnetized water means more quality of life. If you already knew about magnetized water, tell us what you think.
Yes, we absolutely are going to tell you what we think. We think it's absolutely fantastic. Those of you who've not tried magnetized water with Timol, then you will understand why we're so fired up about it. And we hope you get a chance to try it for yourself. Now, as you heard on the video, you know, magnetized water, the benefits, it's immense, okay? I've heard about magnetized water, but never really paid much mind to it until literally January. I heard about it, and then, you know, in February, when I came to London, I had a chance to get the product for myself, and trust me, that has just been a blessing in itself. So what happens with water? And this is one of the things for me. My biggest challenge, my friends, was I wasn't drinking enough water. I was drinking barely 1.5 liters in a day. Didn't really like the taste, too tough, unless it was really refreshed. And so I've gone from somebody who's barely drunk to somebody who drinks, you know, way more than I ever have done in my life in one single sitting. It's just amazing. So H2O, as we know, is water, and so this chemical reaction, when it's super magnetized, is known as water hydrolysis. So this is so get my words right, disassociates into OH minus and H plus. So you've got hydroxyl ions and hydrogen ions. This is why I think I was really struggling, because when you're drinking water as normal, and you cannot see that just with the human eye, naked eye like that, it creates these clusters and these hydrogen ions clusters of water. So when you're drinking it, and you could be somebody who drinks a lot of water, you may not feel as hydrated as you think you should do. And so when you add minerals into the mix, calcium and magnesium, the minerals found in the water, they do a reaction to the hydroxide ions. Okay, so we're going to see what happens. This form of alkaline hydroxides, this calcium and this magnesium, when consuming magnetized water, it reduces the body's acidity. So that takes really care of one of the biggest challenges that we are having in our diet is too much acid. Okay, we're very acidic because of the food. And if you was to measure the food that you're eating, it would probably not register. You know, if a lot of the food is bankrupt, you know, it's fried to death, it's, you know, it's heat has killed it. And so when we eat it, we're not getting a lot of the nutrients that we hope we should get from those foods, right? So this helps, my friend, reduce the body's acidity. Okay, there's a lot of information we're going to talk about on this call as to how that's even possible. The other thing we spoke about was the free radicals. All right, so again, H2O disassociates into OH minus and H plus, neutralizing these free radicals. So when you drink this water, and for anybody, and we've had people on the call talk about this extensively, when they try the water for the first time, they go to the washroom more often than normal. Why? Your body is going to start detoxing getting rid of stuff out of your body just with that normal natural process. He has to get rid of it one way or the other. And obviously, of course, you're going to be going to the washroom more often than normal. And you want to welcome that because the stuff shouldn't be sitting in your body. And some people have, they really have a challenge going to the washroom. They're constipated, they're backed up. They may go, a couple of days without going, I'm not going to go too graphic, but doing what they need to do. Your body needs to expel that, otherwise there's going to be toxins in your body that aren't released. This is going to help break it down and release it. So when you drink the water, the hydrogen ions react with the excess free radicals in your body, forming water. So again, that is just a great thing, because for me, like I said, I wasn't drinking a great deal of water and I was in pain before this product. And you'll hear a bit more when we talk about the testimonials on how this is helping so many people with pain. So did you know your body is at least 70% water? Your organs need water. Your brain, the biggest organ, needs water. If it doesn't get it, and you may think, oh, I drink water. I have fruit juices and I have tea, and I pour water in there and I put my tea bag in and stuff. No, it's not the same. You're literally neutralizing the water. And so we're talking about water, pure and simple, in your body. Your body needs it. And if your brain, for example, you could wake up in the morning, you have a routine, you get up, you drink your coffee, whatever. But if you find that your brain, or you're foggy, or you're getting headaches and things of that nature, probably because your body's dehydrated. Okay, it needs water, every single part of it. Like I said, with your car, you go in your car and you're running it, and the radiator is low on water, you're not going to get too far. What about your body? No different, yeah? So we need water. That is just, case in point. We can survive. We cannot survive without water. And so Dr. Laia Ribeiro talks about your water determining disease, determines health. Appropriate, adequate water restores health. Ionized water hydrates, alkalizes, antioxidizes, and detoxifies. It says here, water can be used as a medicine. All right, absolutely. And there's a book I normally have right next to me, and I was reading it earlier today, Your Body's Many Cries for Water. And again, they call him Dr. Batman, but it's actually Dr. Bathman, something like that, right? And I should know it by now. And that book I read 30 years ago, and I was blown away because this doctor treated his captive audience, which was prisoners, over 3,000 of them in Tehran. He treated them with water. They were literally dying, these prisoners, and he was able to treat them with water. Okay, unbelievable. So that really got me on thinking about, wow, water now is one thing knowing about it, it's one thing doing something about it. Like I said, I knew all the information, but was I drinking water? No, I was drinking something else that I felt was a bit more nicer on my palate. Now, water that does not hydrate against water that does hydrate. What do you mean, Leroy? What are you talking about here? Yes, my friends, it's possible that you could be drinking your standard required amount of water, 2 liters, 3 liters a day, whatever it is for your body size. They say if you're 50 kg, you should be drinking at least 2 liters of water, and more so if you're larger than that. So what happens if you do not drink the relevant amount of water? We're going to be talking about the effects of that and why people could be drinking water and literally being the middle person, right? Middle man, middle woman, just drinking it and not getting the benefits of what we're going to be talking about, what happens when you magnetize your water. So imagine if this is obviously like a fish tank, and on the left we've got a beautiful fish tank, oxygen going in there. It's lovely. You would want people to come and see it. You wouldn't want to come show people the one on the right? But what could this represent? Could this be your body? Could it be your cells are swimming in water that may not be the best for it? In this case, it will be your blood. What could be the situation there? If it's not getting the nutrients, if it's not getting any oxygen, there's no nutrients, your cells could be swimming in dirty, stinking water. All right. And so there is something you can do about it, and it's very easy, and we're going to show you how that is possible. All right. So on the left is obviously what we want to strive for, and definitely not what's on the right. So water should be moving, my friends. I just bought these 2 15-liter big bottles of water that I put in my I've got this unit at home, and with a dispenser, a tap, and I pour it into my water bottle. All right, you can see my water bottle here. If you can see, I've got inside here, I've got the product that sits in my water bottle. This goes with me everywhere. I went to breakfast this morning, and we went out to the breakfast place. That was with me, and I just drank my water and make sure I was hydrated all the time. Okay, it's like a regular practice. I do not leave the home right without it. Yeah, Gusta's showing you exactly what we're talking about, right? So water should be moving, my friends, not just sitting in a warehouse somewhere. Like when I get the water, I have to wash it off. A lot of the time it's dirty, there's dirt built up on it. I don't know how long it's been sitting there before it gets to my home, before I then pour it, into my water bottle. So it's a whole process of things maybe sitting there for a while before it's even put to work, put to use. Water should be moving. In fact, one of the people, and I messaged him today and I said, where is my testimonial? And I've heard people say this, it tastes like the springs from your wherever you get your water from, like a beautiful water well, water spring. Somebody said in Jamaica, where you go to like Dunn's River, you go to the springs and you taste it. That's how the water tastes. We're giving people a chance to feel the benefits without having to go all the way to a beautiful waterfall somewhere or to a spring to get good quality water into their system, right? But that's a feedback I get from people, and that's what we want our water to be moving, right? This gentleman here is going to really give a breakdown into what we have with this magnetized water product. So again, 2-minute video and I'll be back.
First, the water that most people drink has lost its original structural characteristics from when it was alive in nature. In springs, streams, and rivers, water is constantly moving. This favors its oxygenation, in addition to its structure being composed of small molecules, which increases its hydration power in the body. When water is stored or kept in containers, its surface tension is altered. Thus it becomes much heavier, with the formation of large molecule clusters, which are completely disorganized and lose oxygen. This molecular change compromises the penetration of water into cells that form organ tissues. But the original characteristics of water, so necessary for a good cellular hydration, can be restored. This is where magnetic treatment comes in. When water is subjected to a magnetic field, an event called hydrolysis occurs, which means breaking up of water. That is, the movement caused by the molecules causes a rupture of the clusters and promotes rearrangement into much smaller structures. Thus, these H2O molecules penetrate the cells much more easily, promoting better cellular hydration and cleaning. The second point observed in the various studies carried out with magnetized water is that it contributes to a reduction of excess of free radicals. How does this happen? When water undergoes magnetic treatment, there is an ionic dissociation, that is, the H2O water molecule formed by 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom breaks up, releasing hydroxyl ions and hydrogen ions. Excess free radicals that are present in the body are negative ions, and they combine with hydrogen ions, forming new H2O molecules, thus removing them from the body. This is a very simple chemical equation that has been observed by several researchers. The third point is about the contribution to the maintenance of blood alkalinity, helping the mechanisms of our body. In hydrolysis, as we have seen, there are negative hydroxyl ions left over. This hydroxyl reacts with magnesium and calcium ions present in vital environments of our body, forming alkaline hydroxyls, in this case magnesium and calcium hydroxyls. These reactions help in the maintenance of blood pH and oxygen content. It is for all these reasons that water treated magnetically helps in the maintenance of good health.
There you go, my friends. So hopefully that gave you a really good insight into what happens when you are not getting the effects of magnetized water, that whole cluster that takes place, the effect of you not receiving water in the form that it was first created. So there is that break, there's a change, a structure change in your water. You can measure this as well, what the water looks like when it's in this state and what happens when you magnetize it, and why there's such a difference, because we are now receiving the benefits of that. Now, if you don't believe, have a look at what happens by this diagram here. So your cell needs three things for it to function. It needs to be nutrients. You need to receive nutrients. It needs to have be oxygenated. It needs to have hydrogenated as well. So all of these things in the body are a core element of your cells. So nutrients, hydrogen, oxygen, give it that, then you've got a chance of having a healthy cell. Now, what happens when we have regular water? When you drink the water forming those clusters. Remember I spoke about those hard clusters? That happens. So this is your cell. You drink the water, and at best, you're getting partial hydration of the cells. You know, the entry point is there's like that bottleneck situation. You got all this water that's trying to get in and it can't get in. Okay, so you're getting best partial hydration of the cell. Okay, now that's what happens when water does not hydrate. Water that does hydrate, when it's been magnetized, it breaks down those clusters. Okay, I can't stress how important that is. If without that happening, you are just barely getting your cells the hydration that it needs. Okay, that opens up everything for your cell to remain healthy. Okay, and water with magnetic treatment, it's lighter, it's better absorbing. That whole magnetization breaks up the clusters and decreasing the water hardness. Okay, so again, we're promoting hydration and total nutrient of the cells. That's what happens when water hydrates. So again, the benefits of magnetized water cannot be understated, my friends. This company, Timol, their water alkalizes the blood, reduces excess free radicals, improves oxygenation. A good health and healthy life is the company's main goal. Now, we're going to be talking about a product called Sylocimol. This is a flagship product that has helped so many people, including me, with my health. The technology research is, you can go online and you'll find that there's extensive research has been done into this as to why this product and this company, which has been going around for decades now, has made such an impact to thousands of lives, hundreds of thousands of lives in the short time they've been, I say short time, 22 years that they've been around, made a massive impact. Okay, so this company here, 10 years after they opened their doors, which was back in 2004, they received this certification by the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, and they officially declared the recognition of the suitability of the Brazilian company Timol as the only one complying with the standards and requirements of this treatment or correction as a system or method of health protection and recovery with scientifically proven efficiency. So it's not just me talking about how amazing this product is. The WHO even are a body, as we know, the World Health Organization. Like them, hate them, have an opinion about it, doesn't matter. Third-party documentation is validating what this company has been doing. Okay, so it's not just them shouting it from the rooftops, or us, or whoever's invited you on, because we are all massive fanatics of what this product has done for us and the people close and dear to us. So as I mentioned, guys, this is drumroll time. Sylocimol, this mega combo product that I came across back in February, got my hands on it, has made a tremendous difference for me. And what is it? It's two components. One of them is a magnet, the blue one, and the green one is a dolomite stone. Again, do your research, look up this dolomite stone. It's a combination of calcium and magnesium. And the two together, my friends, they are your dynamic duo. So you got on the blue one is Sylocimol, the green one is Top H Plus. And as I mentioned, the effects of magnetized water, it deals with alkalization of your body and your blood, increases bone mineral mass. As people age, bones get more brittle. We have the thing called osteoporosis, where the elderly, as they age, their bodies don't have the same mass as it used to have. And there's different things that people try and do, to have. This is the most straightforward thing I could imagine that you can put, into your daily lifestyle. We're not asking people to go out their way and do something completely different. No, you're drinking water anyway Why not give your body the best version of it? That's my whole thing about this. This particular version is the mega combo. It treats up to 20 liters of water. So we're going to show you different applications. The one I use, it's more portable, treats up to 3 liters, but they both do the same thing. Now, my friends, this isn't a product that you need to buy again next month, next year. The magnet on its own will last 30 years, and the minerals will last you 3 years. Okay, so again, the minerals are provided by the Top H Plus, and the breakdown of those molecules and magnetized water. Magnetized water on its own is a game changer. You add this to the mix, you're now giving your body those minerals that most of us are lacking. Okay, we're not getting enough of on a daily. So easy to use. Like I said, I walk around with my one. It's in my car. It's in my hand. I travel, different countries with it. Right. I make sure it's on me at all times. And so if you're at home, you've got the other version. You can have it in a water jug. You can have it in a dispenser unit. You can have it whichever combination thereof. Of course, if you've got the 20-liter version, you're going to be able to, share it with more people at the same time. But it only takes 20 minutes for the product to be what we call activated. Once you pour your water in it, whether you get it from a filter or you get it from a water bottle, and you pour it in, 20 minutes you need for the product to be activated, and you can start drinking it. Okay, doesn't take a long time at all. And so you can go online, do a search for Sylocimol. You'll see a lot of different testimonials. A lot of it will be in Portuguese. The company has been in Brazil for the most of its life, for at least 18 years before it even started to, spread out. And now we're in different English-speaking countries. Hence why we do these Zooms on a Monday and a Thursday, so that you can hear about the benefits of this company. Make no mistake, my friends, you may have heard of this for the first time. I may have heard of this only in January, but this company, as you saw here, was founded back in 2004 with one mission in mind by Mr. Carlos Henrique Pereira da Silva, to provide health and quality of life for people through high quality water that truly hydrates. I mean, for sure, he saw the dangers of consuming poor quality water over long periods. We see it all over, water quality. Sometimes people in different parts of the world, you could take it for granted. You just turn the tap, clean water's running. Okay, but not always the case. And even when you've got the clean water running, I wouldn't advocate drinking that tap water for the most part, because if you measured it, depending on where you are in the world and in different parts of the countries you are in, the water quality is different, and there's different things. There's metals. There's a lot of stuff there that you probably wouldn't want to drink straight out the tap. Again, depending where you are. So we're talking about a company being around 22 years. They've been certified of integrity. It's like anything. When they first came out, there was a lot of fight against it, and not to say they still haven't got any fights against them, because they're doing something that is helping. And one thing I've got to realize is, you do something that's not of the norm, which is not a pharmaceutical drug or somebody who's a doctor to tell you need to do this, then people don't see the merits of it until unfortunately, some of us have health challenges, and they start to take it, and then they realize, wow, there's something in this. And so a lot of scientific proof. If you go on Google Scholar, not just your regular Google Scholar, there's articles published that you can search, do your research on. And we're spreading all over the place in many countries around the world. Just people taking the product, trying the product. We've got testimonials from people all over. Some countries aren't listed here. We've got a doctor in Nigeria that's been immensely helping people. Doctor in Italy as well that's been helping so many people. Loads of people just in different areas around the world who are benefiting from taking this product. Now, this product is not intended to cure disease, but rather to magnetize water. Okay, so magnetized water will be an adjunct in health treatment and will improve your quality of life by reducing acidity and free radicals in the body. My friends, it does that. Those two things, it does that. There's no question. 22 years later, the company's only got better than what it was when it first started out. Okay, we've got way more testimonials. So many people from different parts of the world. You couldn't make it up. All right, when I saw this many months ago, right, early this year, January, I didn't know about this company, this product, come January the 1st. But boy, when I came across this at the end of January and I heard some of the testimonials, I was absolutely blown away. And I said, if this can do a portion of truth that what I'm hearing on these Zooms, then I know this product is going to be absolutely unstoppable. And so here I am today, several months later, a total advocate of it because of what not only what it's done for me, but I've seen it firsthand for so many people. So guys, I don't know if anyone's got a testimony they want to share or make a comment about the company or the product. Just feel free to raise your hand. We'll put the spotlight on you. You could say a few things. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on testimonials today because it is Monday. I do want to talk about the income side of our business today, but somebody's trying to call me. But we will talk about any testimonials that people might have. I'm just going to send a note to the person, do not call me at this time of day. They should know better. And if we don't, I'll just talk about what happened for me, guys. So let's move it on. I got in touch with this product. I saw it, the testimonials and things of that nature back in January, as I mentioned. I was in London back in February. I was able to get the product. And I tell you, my biggest challenge was for months and going on years, actually. I've been having these weird pains in my, it started with a sciatica pain. To be honest, I never had any pains until I hit my 50s in my body like that. And then I was like, sciatica, what is this? I had to read up about it, couldn't even spell it. And thank God the sciatica pain kind of went. I was going to the chiropractor regularly and doing different things. But the biggest difference, and that cleared up. But the biggest problem, I should say, that was like still in my hip, like the pain had moved to my hip and it lodged there, and I couldn't move it. I went to the chiropractor, went to physio, went to the doctor, get my bloods done, getting scans done, the whole nine, and nothing moved it, guys. And then I went to London, as I mentioned, in February, got my hands on the product. I started taking it. That water bottle that I walk around with, I ordered it the day I landed in the UK to go with the product. And I was just having a conversation with somebody a few days later, and I totally forgot about the pain. Now, this pain would be so bad at times, I would not be able to stand up. I would literally have to sit down for about a minute or so, just wait for it to pass, and then it'll be good. I'll be good again. And then, so every now and then, it wasn't like an everyday thing that, I was feeling, but thank God it didn't stay. And so for me, that was an absolute game changer. Now we're several months on. Now, did it cure me? No, it's not a cure. I know this. If I do not drink enough water, okay, if I go without, and I very rarely do, but if I go without and I'll get busy and do stuff, I can start to feel what the pain was like, but nowhere near what it was like. From a 0 to 10, it was like at a 9 at its worst, right? And so now it's like barely a 1. And definitely not now. Like I'm running, I really feel like 10, 15 years younger in my body because of how just drinking this water has done for me. So guys, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Anybody else before we move on? Feel free to raise your hand and we'll hear from you. Otherwise, I am going to go back into the slides and I want to talk about the effects, guys. But this has been an absolute game changer for so many people. Let me just share my screen again. Like I said, if you feel urged to say something, just raise your hand and I'll put the spotlight on you. Let me go back to the real quick and I want to show you this. The variety of challenges that people have had with their skin, with their health and nutrition. Let me just mute the lines. Sorry guys, unless you are planning to say something, I'm going to mute all the lines. Thank you very much. Feel free to unmute yourself if you actually raise your hand first if you are planning to share on the call. So, this gentleman here, I don't know how long the timelines are. Again, the video is in Portuguese, so I'm not playing a video, but that's the before and after, like vertigo. I mean, that's probably as more challenging of a skin condition that I've ever seen. A product, just the same product that you use to hydrate your cells and get rid of acidity in your body is the same thing. Joyce, I'm going to ask you to mute your lines because you keep unmuting. I'm not sure if you're planning to say something, but please raise your hand if you plan to. This is another for severe skin condition. We've had so many skin conditions. I I have a relative growing up. She had a really bad eczema, and had to use all these different creams to reduce the pain and the hardness of that. And so seeing this gentleman all over his body, it just like blows me away on how he's able, the before and after, how that went from that. It's just absolutely mind blowing. So again, we've got so many different testimonials. For me, again, diabetes is a big thing running in the community, and runs in my family. And so, to this gentleman here, there is a video on this also in Portuguese, but I'm going to do my best to get some of these videos converted because they are absolutely mind blowing. I've got a whole series. You name the condition, I probably got a video on it in Portuguese that I can show you, and I'm going to be working on that so that it's translated. Now, this gentleman here, similar kind of condition. Now, a couple of years ago, unfortunately, one of my aunties had lost her leg due to being diabetic, stepping on something, and just bring this video on. Now, his foot was way worse than what my auntie's was, right? Way worse, and all over. Those were pretty horrific. How his leg was, and his whole testimonial was it ran in his family, and he was scheduled to have his leg amputated. Now, I can't say that if my auntie had this, that she may not have had to have the surgery. Who knows, right? But all I know is that people who have had this, like this gentleman, and you'll hear from his own mouth how he credits not having to have the surgery of something that ran in his family because of somebody introducing him to Sylocimol. In fact, he was scheduled to have surgery whilst taking the product, and his foot started to heal based on the product, okay, based on them using the product. And so we've got scores of testimonials about people, their skin conditions, and you've heard some of them, so I don't need to repeat it, but some of the testimonials always blow me away, which is why I love doing these calls, because I just don't know what you're going to hear. And you see his foot now as a result of being on this product. So for sure, nobody can tell him that this is a placebo effect or that it's all in his mind. Absolutely not. And nobody can tell me that either, because I know I took a regular bottle of water from my pantry and I drank it and I couldn't stand it. And I spent good money on this bottle of water from Italy. Couldn't stand it. And I poured it in my water bottle and I drank it, no problem. That was my problem. I couldn't stomach the taste of drinking regular water. Just really dry and not interested. Okay. So what about dogs? What about pets? They don't think that they need water too? Absolutely, right? They need water just like we do. And so again, I don't know the full story behind this one, but there's, again, dogs. You can say, what else that not a human? What about your plants, right? They're all living, beings, organisms. Look at this farmer. His crop produce increased because he added, and this is obviously an industrial one. He wasn't just pouring 20 liters of water every now and then into his field. No, this was an industrial version, and his crops had produced more, and the cows produced more milk. There was a lot more going on, and you can do your own test. You can have one vase with regular water and one vase without. Pour it in there, and you'll see the difference. So my friends, I'm really excited about this product. The only thing is we want more people to know about it, and this is where you can come into play into a second part of our presentation tonight. So let me see what the time's at. We are almost 50 odd minutes into the meeting. I want to spend the last 10 minutes talking about the income side of our business. So at this stage, if you are just here to learn about the product, well, hopefully that gave you an insight to how amazing this product is. Feel free to get back whoever's invited you on for either placing an order or getting a sample if you're in close proximity. I've done that. I've given a sample to people in proximity to me, and they've come back and said they cannot believe what's happened in those 24 hours. And again, some of you have heard those videos. I don't need to play it here. If you want to hear those videos, I can forward it to you so you can hear those people's testimonials. Now we're going to talk about the income side, because if you're living longer, and it has been proven, I said it on the video, on the presentation, and you heard it, but also it's been proven that if just by drinking this magnetized water, it can add an extra 15 years to your life. So if you're living longer, you definitely want to make sure you've got enough income to go alongside with it, because that wouldn't be a nice scenario. You living longer and your income's going that way and you're going up in age, right? So we're talking about having that balance, and we know it's very challenging financially out there. This company allows you to also earn just by sharing the benefits of this company with other people. So let's talk about transforming your life with Timol. We're talking about your health, getting transformed, having more freedom and an opportunity for growth. Okay, so let's go into it. It's time to change your life, and Timol is here to help you do that. Like with anything, if you've got a great product, essentially you're going to have a great business. All right, and sometimes some businesses I've seen out there, I've been involved in businesses now for over 3 decades, and I've seen some businesses I wouldn't want to anybody publicly knowing that I'm involved with them, because they have that cringe factor. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if this business is going to survive. Is it one of them? I need to do my research. And here I would gladly shout it from the rooftops how amazing to be partnered with this company. In fact, we heard from the owner's daughter not too long ago, and her involvement in the company, and it's great to see that legacy of him now passing it to the daughter, and how such a big impact it's making around the world. So everybody needs this product, all right? I don't need to sell people on the benefits, or I shouldn't have to, on drinking water. But now I hope you understand the difference between what magnetized water does to your water for your health and what happens when you don't drink magnetized water. Pretty staggering. So we have 2 different types of income. We have 6 different income streams in total, but we have 2 different ways. One, by sharing it with friends, family members, and they may not be into sales. And we're not looking for salespeople, my friends. We're looking for people that may just want to help other people get better with their health. Pure and simple. And if you've got a community of people that could benefit from taking this product, that's all we're talking about. Okay. Now you've got to have the other flip side. There's a selling element to it, and again, I just call it sharing. I do not try and sell this product and say, oh yeah, you need to buy this product, it's X, Y, Z dollars, compare it to that company. I never do that. I don't want to be a salesman. Far from it. I just want to share from the heart, share from what's happened for me, and if you like it enough, you want to try it for yourself, go for it. Okay. But we're not going to lose no sleep of people who do not want to buy the product. Okay. We just want to get the word out there, because we know so many people are challenged, have health challenges, and this is a solution. Simple as that. So version number 1 is sharing it. You're leveraging your resources. This is what the wealthy do, right? They could be on a golf course every single day, but they're running multi-billion-dollar businesses. And one thing that I want to just interject. I was watching a video, and this guy was talking about. He's a billionaire. And he was talking about health, and he was actually on a cycle. He was cycling, and he owns a lot of real estate and stuff. And he was saying, if you're a billionaire and you've got a sore throat, it doesn't matter how much billions you've got. The sore throat you want to deal with, and it's just like your health. If your health isn't there, it doesn't matter how many zeros you got at the end of the bank account. It makes no difference. You want to make sure you're back on your health. You want your to be feeling the best version of yourself. You want to have your energy. You want your health. And so there's no price to pay on that. And again, we've got a very inexpensive product. For those of you who are interested in the price, get back whoever invites you on. We're not going to be talking about the price of the product, but it's very inexpensive to actually purchase. Now, monthly and weekly income can be attained through this company. So the regular traditional business, as opposed to what we do, which is direct sales, is that you have the industry wholesaler, the distribution method, the supermarket, and then you as the consumer. Everybody needs a bit of that chain. They need to earn a little bit of that. Okay. And so what we remove all that model. We deal directly with the company, and then our customers who are interested in getting the product, we get the product to them and they use it, and everybody's happy. So as opposed to the company spending thousands on advertising on Facebook, on billboards, posters, and things of that nature. No, you're the mouthpiece. Word of mouth marketing is the most powerful form of advertising. It beats traditional spending millions of dollars, hands down, in order for you to make you know, sometimes you lose all that budget, but you spend it because, you know, obviously you've got a marketing budget. But if you can share it from your heart, and the difference is we don't want this product to be sitting on the shelf, right? We want it so that when we're talking to somebody, we can follow up with them. You know, if you bought this off Amazon and stuff, you think Amazon's going to call you up and ask you how you getting on with the product? How's it now, day 2, you've been on it? A week later, do you notice anything? No, of course not, right? So this is where we come into it, and why we have that personal touch with the person we're sharing this with, because we've got a vested interest. We're not here just to sell the product. We want to find out, how has the product impacted your health? And nothing satisfies me more to get a call or a message to say, man, this water is, I can't believe what I'm experiencing. I'm like, yep, I know. I'm just waiting for you to come back and tell me that, because I've had that so many times. So let's say that you're sharing this company with, you know, a couple of people twice a day. That's your only job, right? 2 people a day, in the morning and in the evening. Now, you're not doing a whole seminar, chapter and verse, Zoom meeting every time. No, that will be sales, right? We're talking about maybe sharing a video clip, sharing some documentation with somebody about the benefits of taking magnetized water, and then wanting to find out more about the product, or you sampling the product to them. They're close around you, say, oh, come to my house, try this water, and they try the product. You do that twice a day for 5 days a week. You give yourself the weekend off, right? So you've exposed the product to 40 people in a week, right? This could be your numbers. I don't know. It could be, you may need to expose more people to get these numbers, but this is an example. Now, I'm only going to show you, this is the first way of making income with a company. I'm only going to show you the direct sales model of you getting the product at wholesale and you selling it at retail. Now, this company is very generous, right? We get a very good markup on the product. So even if you're not interested in necessarily quote unquote sales, but you just want to get the product cheaper, it could actually be beneficial for you to actually be part of the company just for that alone. Anyway, you sell 5 of these mega ones, and the mega is more cost effective, my friends, than the mini one, but obviously more money, okay? But it's more cost effective because you get more, you can do more with the bigger one than you can with a small one, but both of them are fantastic. I've got both. You're going to be making 180 euros per sale. So let's say this is you. Out of those 40 people that you exposed to Timol Monday to Friday, you gave yourself the weekend off, you sold 1 a week, okay? You sold 1 mega combo, and you did that every week. You're very consistent. And for the end of the month, you ended up with 720 euro, okay, for the week. For the month, sorry, based on you doing 1 a week. Let's say you did a bit more than that, okay? You shared it with a few more people, or you just had different people around you that wanted the product. And some people refer other people, you know, do you know anybody who may be benefiting, blah, blah, blah. And you end up selling 3 in a week. That ends up being over 2,000 euros. Now, again, I don't know what income you guys might be looking for. It could be income replacement. It could be additional income. You know, if you can make ends meet and pay a certain thing off, it could help you maybe in an area that you thought wasn't possible before. You add another $2,000 to maybe a pension account, or, you know, your investments or whatever. It can make a difference. Or just paying the bills can make a massive difference. How about making an extra 3,000 because you sold 5 in a week? Extra 3,600 euros. That's now talking about paying down a mortgage, right? This money could just be used to pay down stuff so that you be able to keep more money long term. Whatever it is that you are looking for, this could be the solution. That's income stream number 1. Okay, we're not even going to talk about the smaller one, where you could probably do a lot more of those because they're smaller in nature and they're slightly cheaper. Okay, but the markup is still fantastic. Now, if you refer somebody to do and join a business just like you have, you became what we call a franchisee. They have a franchisee model, which we'll talk about the prices in a minute. And if you did the silver membership, which comes with the big one, so the silver one comes with this big mega unit, which you can obviously use for yourself and, you know, and use it for sampling. You're going to earn 80 euros for sharing that with somebody. Somebody wants to get the gold membership, it comes with the small one and the big one, and you'll earn 161 euros through sharing that and somebody coming on board. And then we've got the platinum one, 322 euros that you would earn. So somebody could come in at the silver member level, you earn from that. They can upgrade and you can earn from that. and they upgrade again, you can earn from that. Right. We have a quick start bonus. If you introduce somebody to the company and they went out within their first 45 days, so you registered at least 2 members, and within 45 days they shared it, you earn a what we call a fast start bonus. So this is now passive income. You had nothing to do with it. This is through people that got shared the program through one of your friends, and then you earn these bonuses. I believe it's from $30 euros upwards. These are in Brazilian reals. I need to get these converted to euros. This is one thing I like about this company. A lot of direct sales models, network marketing, whatever you call it, they have a model where as you progress through the company, the emphasis is to recruit, get more people on. What I love about this, from the leader level all the way to what we call Black Diamond, you only need to have at least 3 people active. 3 people, and you can qualify yourself for all the bonuses in the company. Now, I never let a company's minimum be my maximum, so I still recommend getting at least 6 people in case one falls off the edge of the earth and you cannot get hold of them anymore. So have at least 3 people as part of you qualifying. So we have a binary bonus. So again, when people join the franchise, you earn a bonus on that. And again, this is not you personally going out there. This is showing an example of maybe you sharing it with 4 people, those 4 sharing it with 4. This is perfect maths. Everybody's sharing it 4. We know in reality, some will share it with 1, some will share it with none, some will share it with 100. It just depends who you're speaking to. But that income goes to you because you said yes to somebody about joining it. And you have a unilevel bonus. The unilevel bonuses are bonuses for the people you personally introduce to the company. So again, you're earning another stream of income that you may not have had anything to do with it. You made that initial yes. And this is one thing I love about this model. We earn residually on our income. Okay, we join, and somebody might say, how much you've earned? I said, I have no clue how much I earn, because it's not a one-time thing. In a job situation, you earn from 40 hours of work, for example, you get 40 hours of pay. It's a transaction. Okay, you exchange your time for money. That's what you get. With this, there's no limit. You could be sleeping and you could have a business in Australia, business in North America, and you're in the UK, and you wake up and you're getting paid from people around the world that you have no idea who they are, where they are, but you're still going to cash that money, I guarantee you. Right? So unilevel bonus, again, this is when people are buying the product. So every month they want to remain active in the company. They buy at least one of the products, and when they buy that, you will earn, there's a little commission, $2.27 euros. You're thinking, oh, that's chicken feed, I'm not even interested in that. What happens when you start to get people, and this is to your 10th level, okay, of earnings? You get thousands of people on one level. Let's say you get hundreds of people on one level. That now becomes hundreds of dollars. And then you know, level 5, people that you don't even know, all right, are earning, basically are buying the product, and you're earning on that. So you're earning a residual on that purchase just because you said yes many years ago, many months ago, many weeks ago to the company, and they're still paying you over and over. That's what I love about this, my friend. Do the work once and get paid over and over again from it. Yeah, I've got a cousin, he's in the music industry, was in the music industry. He's no longer with that band anymore. Years ago, he's ended his relationship with that band. That band, I think now and then they do tours, but still to this day, he cuts a royalty check every quarter as clockwork for the work he did back in the 90s. I think that's amazing. 90s and the 2000s. I think that's absolutely amazing. We may not be in a band, we may not be an author, we may not be a songwriter, but we can still earn over and over in the same way. So how much does it cost to be involved with this? Well, to be a silver franchisee, 840 euros. That one comes with the mega product, as I mentioned, which has got a good retail value on it and a good markup on it. We also have the gold membership, which is 1,320. That comes with both of the products, and the platinum version, 2,400. Now, of course, you know, we have a whole career plan for those of you who want to build a long-term income. Okay, this company's been around 22 years. I think the next 22 years are going to be absolutely amazing. Then we've just literally scratched the scratch of the scratch, my friends. This is not even, they've not even penetrated any market. Even though it's been in Brazil for now 22 years, still, It's a baby company, guys. It's still, the opportunity is so wide open. Don't even talk about the rest of the world. It's wide open. We're not talking about less than 1%, less than 0.5%. It's not even close. We've got so much scope, guys. So again, if you like the idea of, you know, earning trips, you know, car bonuses and things of that nature, get back to whoever's invited you. They can dive into more of those details where you can find out for yourself how that all possible. And it's possible because this company allows that. If you just want to get the product, you don't want to get involved in the business per se, get back to them and just ask them, you know, how you can get your hands on the product or how you can get to try the product, and then we'll take it from there. So with that, my friends, I am going to call it a wrap. Let me just see everybody's doing good. Any last questions before we close it out? We are literally just over the hour mark, and I don't see any questions. So with that said, my friends, we do these calls Monday and a Thursday. On the Thursday call, we just talk solely about the business, you know, just like the product, nothing about the income side. And so, you know, come back Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern, 9 p.m. UK time. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And, you know, and those calls, we do have a lot of testimonies. I call them testimonials Thursdays. We have a lot of people sharing testimonials. And guys, we're going to call it a wrap on that. I'm going to just post something in the chat. There's one of our most recent calls that we did. And we had so much feedback about that particular call. I mean, all of our Zooms where we have testimonials on, we get some really powerful testimonials coming, and I never know what somebody's going to say. But I'm going to just see if I can just quickly post that in the chat. I'm going to stop the Zoom recording here anyway, and then we'll catch up on the next one. So with